Hi everybody, I'm JT. Welcome to another video from me here at Campervan Journey. So if you own a van that you're planning on converting into a camper van, have got a van already that you're going to convert, or a van that you want to update or upgrade, chances are one of the jobs on your list is going to be looking at improving insulation. And that's one of the things we're going to look at in this video as to how we improve the insulation specifically in the rear panel doors. Stay watching the video all the way through and I'll try and show you step by step how we've managed to do this. So our Hymer Campervan on the Sprinter chassis is a 6-metre van, and the access in and out of the rear is quite useful with the twin barn doors. But when we've been staying in the van over winter, it has been, in fact not even winter, in autumn and spring as well, sometimes it can get very chilly in the rear cabin area, and a part of the reason for that is there is no insulation at all behind these interior panels. So our objective today is to try and add some insulation in these door panels to improve the comfort inside and add a bit of a barrier between the bare metal exterior and the interior of the van. And I don't think it's great that Hymer don't insulate these panels, and some people will say there are there are reasons why they don't do it, and there'll be people who say you don't want to avoid condensation, etc, etc. But what we're going to just try and do is just add a little bit of extra protection just to keep us a little bit warmer and extend our camping season. So we'll try and show you stage by stage how we're doing it. I haven't watched any videos as to how we're going to do this, so that we are learning as we go, but follow our steps, follow the progress, and drop me any comments below, any questions you may have once you've watched the video. But on to stage one. Now I know from having researched on various owners forums that there is no insulation behind these panels. If you've watched a previous video on the channel about us winterising the van previously, you'll note that we put some extra insulation in the roof using some insulation roll, and I'll put a link to the video below. But we're going to use the same material to hopefully insulate the voids behind here. So first thing we're going to do is try and remove these panels, remove these fixing screws, and then there'll be some trim clips behind these panels, invisible trim clips you can't see from the outside, but we're going to have to try and lever this panel off from those to give us access to the rear. Now I've got some sophisticated tools for this job. I've got my trusty adjustable Stanley screwdriver, a proper trim panel remover. I got these from eBay for around about 15 quid, and they've been great for all sorts of little jobs, not just on the van, but lots of other jobs around the home as well. So that's what we're going to use for releasing some of the clips off, and a spatula, which I borrowed from the kitchen, so don't tell Claire. I'm also probably going to need an extra pair of hands, because trying to remove the panels, lever the panels and get access behind is going to probably be a two-person job. What I want to try and avoid, if at all possible, is taking the whole panel off. My aim is just to be able to access the lower part, because obviously then we've got the window and the upper part. I don't think there's a big void at the top, but access the lower part to put the insulation behind in the lower section of the door. I believe that basically there'll be a void from the top all the way down to the bottom. If you hadn't heard already, you can now buy a Campervan Journey sticker. So if you fancy one of these, drop me an email at campervanjourney@gmail.com and I'll let you know how you can buy one. Looks pretty good on the van, I think. The first step is to unscrew the two retaining screws. What I've managed to do is on this side, the right hand side, remove the screws, and then using the tools that I've just shown you, be able to lever this panel away. And then just to give us a little bit more leverage behind the scenes, I think that a spatula, just a regular kitchen spatula, is going to help just being able to lever the panel away, because some of the fixing clips are further behind inside the door. Feels like you're being a bit brutal, but just find where the catches are and then they will release. There we go. And if we just have a look behind the panel, you can see where the retaining studs are. So there's about 10 in behind there, and these are just designed so when you push them into the holes in the bodywork itself, then they will clip into there with little grooves on there to give them grip. So same on this panel, you can see that the Hymer insulation, provided insulation, is there. Thank you very much, Mr. Hymer. We'll put some more in to fill the gaps a bit better. And then access behind, and you can see the trim clips behind. And this panel is actually a plywood panel, lightweight plywood panel, cut to size. And there you can see the culprit, large void. That's the exterior of the van, and no, well, I say no insulation, there is a bit of insulation there, but nothing in the top section at all. So our job today is to try and improve that. So stage one's been removing the screws on the exterior panels. Stage two's been just loosening using the trim clips and the spatula, the fixings behind, and then I'm just going to get an extra pair of hands to help me pull the panel out, so some of the insulation behind the door panel. And the insulation we're going to use is the same stuff that we used in the roof, which is this Eco Fleece from Dodo Mat, and specifically for van and motorhome conversions. So with Claire's help, we've managed to stuff some of these voids with the Dodo Mat fleece. Just deciding whether we're going to put any in that space just beneath the window or not. And it's very easy to cut to size just with some regular household scissors. So now we've roughly filled the spaces in with the Dodo Mat, then we need to try and refit the door panel. It should just clip back in with a bit of a tap. Screw these back on and then we should be all done. There goes that second bit. It's gone in nicely. And we just put a couple of voids, a couple more voids to fill, and just under the window. Okay, so now that we've put the fleece in, we put it in loosely so there's still room in there for the air to circulate if there is any condensation. Mercedes have already put drainage holes in the bottom of the doors, so if there is any moisture in there, it can find its way out. But I'm happy with that, and hopefully that will make a difference to making it a bit more cosy in colder weather. So to fix the panel back on, we just offer it back up, and those little trim clips will find their original holes. Just feel for them with your thumb, gently push them so you can feel that they go into the recess behind, and then we'll be all secure. And the final job is just to put the two, remember to put the two retaining screws back in the top. And there we go, all done. I have to say I'm pretty happy with that. It wasn't as complicated as I feared, probably because we didn't take the panel off completely. We could have done that if need be, but just decided that there wasn't enough of a void above the window to warrant doing that. So yeah, job well done. So if you found that video useful, please remember to give us a thumbs up, hit the button to subscribe, ding the notification bell, and you'll be notified you'll find out when the next video from Campervan Journey is here. Thanks very much indeed for watching. Look forward to seeing you on another video here on Campervan Journey very, very soon. Thanks for watching.